Yeah, 35k run. Got some really big news, as you might have guessed by the title of this video. This is insane. I've climbed to the top of the mountain, which is where I want to be consistently, and now I have to taper. Man, it's taken me a long time to get ready this morning. But last thing is going on, shoes and socks, and then we are out the door for a 35k run. It's a route I haven't run before, but it should be super beautiful. It's an epic morning, and I'm trying to get this run in, which will be 3 or 4 hours before a massive storm comes through. So I'll see you on the run. Beautiful morning out at kind of Bobbin Head, Ku-ring-gai National Park. And there's supposed to be big rain coming late morning, but as you can see by the sky, do not think that's going to happen. But yeah, 35k run on the cards, and yeah, got some really big news, as you might have guessed by the title of this video, and super keen to share it with you after we get this incredible morning run done. So let's go. Definitely got a little bit of PTSD running along this section of single track down to Bobbin Head, because if you've seen my last vlog, you'll see that I was doing a race along here, Jabalani 45k, and this is right after everything went horribly wrong in that race. So if you haven't seen it, hit the link, not up there, below. I'll link it in the description. Jump on and have a watch. Pretty gnarly. You keep wanting to glance to your left, because there's just the most beautiful sound of trickling water in this river running along the trail, and it's like 5 meters away, so it's so close and it sounds so tranquil. And as soon as you take a little look at it, you hit a very slippery tree root or rock, and you're on the ground before you know it. So yes, you're very pretty, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to look at you for a while. Well, that's a first. I was running along in this tall blade grass, and a piece went in my mouth and stabbed the roof of my mouth. Ow. up in the fog now. Pretty epic. Beautiful staircase going between the rocks. Mad trees just growing out of rocks. And then you got the misty cliffs in the valley. Oh, that climb was tough, but it is nice to be running now. Running faster. This section a little bit techie, but way flatter, way more flowy. This is insane. This is like a little oasis in the middle of the rainforest. Kidding me. This is like a 35k run. It's probably going to take me 6 hours at this rate. Mental. GoPro's just about to die, so see you back at home. Okay, so it's the next day. I've pulled up really well from that run. Obviously, it was a pretty slow run. Wasn't pushing the pace at all. I was more just stopping and taking the scenery heap. So feeling really good. Finished the week on almost 110 kilometers, which is really, really cool. And I wanted to address the title of the vlog, which is, spoiler alert, if you didn't realize already, I've decided to make the really difficult decision to not turn up to the UTA100 start line in a couple of weeks. I think in 2 or 3 weeks. And I haven't made this decision lightly. This was my A race for the year. It's my A race every year. And I haven't been able to make the start line the last 2 years in a row due to my bone injuries that I've sustained. This year, it's a more difficult decision than those years because if you have an injury, it's easy. You just make the call. You can't do it because you're injured. You don't turn up. The pressure is off because it's a simple decision. This year, the decision is a lot more difficult because I've worked really hard since the end of December to create a body that can run this race. And now a few weeks out, I have realized that while I could run this race, I'm not going to be able to run it the way I want to run it. In other words, I can definitely turn up and I can run this race and I can finish it and, you know, get through it. but I don't want to get through it. I want to do really well, and I want to meet my expectations or exceed them. I don't want to just have a mediocre race, especially if it's a 100K race. Because even if you have a mediocre race or perform slower than what you expected, it obviously still has a huge impact on your body because you're running 100 kilometers. So I thought it might be interesting to you if I explain the reasoning behind this, because a few people that I have told that I'm pulling out of the race who are close to me and who have either been training with me a little bit or watching my training, they're mind blown and they're like, that's crazy, you're running so well. Yes, I am running well. But looking at my Strava on here, and I'll put it right there in the corner for you. This is my 6-month graph that we're both looking at. And as you can see, I didn't start my return to run until the end of December. It was Christmas Day, if I remember. And from 0 on Christmas Day, my first week was just over 8 kilometers. My second week was 19 kilometers. My third week was 17, 27, 20, 40, 45, 55. And I just went up incrementally by 5 kilometers. And between the end of December to this week at 103 kilometers, as you can see in that graph, I've only just reached the level of training that I want to be at consistently. And Vlad, my coach, was talking to me before I pulled the pin on UTA100, was talking to me about tapering and having a longer taper into this race because of my history. So what it means is I've climbed to the top of the mountain, which is where I want to be consistently, and now I have to taper. So we're going to be getting that sort of shape on the graph, which is no good. And timing wise, we knew that UTA100 was coming at this time of the year, as it always does. And we knew that I wanted to get a race in beforehand, which I did at Jabalani, and that all went really well. My body responded really well to that. But unfortunately, I have not been willing to push my training harder to reach that level and then have that consistency in the lead up to UTA. I could have done it, but it was just a risk that I wasn't willing to take. And I did still think I was going to make it in time for UTA, but unfortunately, as you can see by that graph, I've just reached where I want to be. So yeah, thinking big picture, long term, all that kind of stuff, consistency is the one thing that I always preach, and all good runners do preach consistency. So yeah, for me to get to here and then taper and then 100K race and then recover from the race, it's just going to be a really sketchy scenario that I'm not willing to go through. The risk versus the reward is just not there. So super bummed about that. But once I just move on and I tell myself that it is the right decision, because it is, and then I think about the fact that I've just run a over 100 kilometer week, and now I can do this for 4 weeks. And, my plan is to sit exactly how I am now with my training and with the recipe that I've built into this 100K week. Sit on this for 4 weeks and let it absorb, then see how my body feels, and then make some new goals for the year. So unfortunately, it is another year that I will not be at the start line of UTA100, but it's my first year in 2 years where I've been able to reach where I want to reach with my training. And I've also been able to throw in a really difficult 45 kilometer race on this journey of coming back from my bone stress injury, and my body's happy. So that is really what I'm looking for. And that makes me incredibly stoked because I love the training. I love turning up consistently day in, day out. And the races are always there, and they're always a huge goal, and they're always a great way to keep you on track and keep you really hungry. But the training is way more important to me, and getting out in nature and creating this body that can move how I want it to move through nature and take me out into these incredible places and experiencing these incredible things. So if you're running UTA 100, let me know in the comments. I really hope you go well, or whatever race you're running at UTA. It's going to be a huge year, and I'm really bummed that I'm not going to be there. But the other side of the coin is that I am just so stoked with how my body is and how my training is going, and I cannot wait to keep some consistency from here and see where it can take me. Thanks for coming along for this vlog. If you enjoyed it, then I would love you to like the video, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribing already, and see you in the next one.